Of course, the zaniest of health cures usually comes from California, doesn't it? But one thing they won't be suffering from in LA right now is the winter gloops, because the temperature there is currently 80 degrees and very sunny.
So what are they doing in it? We sent our California connection, Martin Lewis, to find out.
Good morning, Anne and Nick. Martin Lewis with New Year greetings to you and all the viewers from the highest point in Hollywood, the Griffith Observatory. In a few moments, we're going to find out how many Americans spend their weekends. But first, these tales from deepest Tinseltown. What American women want in their stockings at Christmas, and indeed throughout the year, is thin thighs. This Christmas, they got their wish. Thin Thighs, you see, is the name of a new wonder lotion that claims to melt cellulite. Its inventor says that this stuff, which is based on an asthma remedy, is applied to the thighs for about 6 weeks, and voila, you lose 1.5 inches of unwanted fat. I'm waiting for them to come out with a new product called Trim Tummy. The last few years, the Christmas holidays have become synonymous with the release of Macauley Culkin movies. This season's film is Richie Rich, based on the American comic strip about the world's richest kid. Since Macaulay reportedly got paid $8 million to appear in this film, it was clearly typecasting. But the big problem with this film was something that afflicts all boys of his age. Macaulay couldn't stop growing. He grew so much during the shooting of the film that they had to constantly refit his clothes, and they surrounded him with actors of 6 foot and taller so he would always look like a kid. Well, one that earns $8 million per film. Most Americans have a taste for things British. They drink our tea in Hollywood haunts such as this one, Paddington's Tea Room. They lap up our royal scandals. There's even a cult following for TV shows such as Are You Being Served? So it's no surprise that Americans spend a lot of their weekends in this unusual fashion. This is the Elizabethan Renaissance Fair, which tours all over California. Every weekend, 2,000 American actors dress up as Elizabethan characters and mingle with thousands of Anglophiles in a recreation of a British village 500 years ago, that is.
I am Sir Robert Dudley, the Earl of Leicester. I am advisor and master of horse to Her Majesty.
This be me niece, California. This be me daughter.
I think playing history has become a wonderful hobby. And people come here and study, in fact must study, for about 4 weekends. And when you've done that your whole life, that's a lot of weekends.
But why are Americans into play acting British history?
I did very poorly in history in school, and when I saw this, I became thrilled. And now I have bookshelves surrounding my room full of social history and all the rest of it. I love it. For me, Elizabeth indeed was an extraordinary person, and I think what she did and what she represented lives on even to today.
Now, don't you think there's something strange about Americans, charming though you are, dressing up as us Brits?
Don't you think it's funny that Brits are dressed up as cowboys?
That's a very, very good point. I myself am not, but you're quite right.
Yes, quite
Why
so.
do you think that the two cultures end up swapping like this?
It's always fun to do other things that other cultures do. We don't have a strong, colorful 16th century history.
That's true.
So we go to England to find it.
It's hard to get a sensible word out of anyone here, because once in costume, they never break character.
The extractors!
Yeah, but have you ever heard of using gas or Novocaine?
Novocaine? Is it not a god of the Greeks or some such?
Maybe. I think it's a painkiller. What about aspirin? I mean, this chap looked like he was in agony.
The closer you get to the source of the wound or the illness, the louder they do scream.
Well, to us, it may look a little less like Shakespeare and a bit more like Carry On Jousting, but at least they get the food right. Though last year they tried out some Elizabethan delicacies and the blood sausage did not go down well at all.
We are given to understand we should have special audience with this illustrious representative from far. Hence, sir, you are most welcome.
I hope I don't seem impertinent, but there are rumours that you have been overheard having conversations with somebody called Squidgy.
Squidgy? My lords, I know me not of this. Have you been listening to rumours from the Spanish ambassador?
Since you're not married, Your Majesty, can I ask you, what are you doing later tonight?
It depends on what gifts you bring.
See, Nigel Dempster, this is the way to do it. I've got a lovely little restaurant I know. I'd like to show you. Would you like to accompany me, please?
Lovely idea.
Oh, what a lovely idea.
Jolly good.
Yes.